Hi, everyone. I'd just like to thank you, thank Evan, thank Sherry, and the organizers of the meeting for inviting me here to speak today about our chapter. So I'm going to talk about the local chapter that we're running at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Try to share with you some things that we think that we're doing well and are working for us. I just want to start with a little history of the chapter. So it's relatively new. We started it in 2012. We've had sort of a flux in members as people progress through different levels of training, but right now we're at 54 active members. Largely these are comprised of people in the MSTP, but we have several members from the School of Medicine as well as a couple members from the School of Dentistry that are pursuing PhD degrees or are interested in research. And so our chapter is really organized around our Constitution that we drafted, and what you see there pictured is the officers of our chapter, as well as Robin Lorenz, who's the MD PhD director at UAB, as well as our chapter's advisor. So we came up with a Constitution that was ratified by our members. That allowed us to qualify for School of Medicine money, and our chapter has been funded at the highest level at UAB School of Medicine out of any other student group. So we're doing pretty well. We also developed a mission statement that sort of leads our chapter in our initiatives. And this allowed us to form different events committees that address the different pillars of our mission statement. And these events committees, membership on these and helping us out on these membership committees is a requirement for active membership, which allows our members to sort of reap some of the benefits of our chapter. And so really I want to focus on our mission statement because it's really what guides our chapter. And it is to develop the careers of physician scientists by networking at the local, regional, and national level, and to inspire others to pursue careers as research scientists through community outreach. So in green there are basically the three pillars under which our chapter operates. And so this slide is admittedly busy, and the intent isn't to have you read it all. It's just sort of to show you the events that our chapter has sponsored since its inception in 2012. And you can see each of the events is specifically designed to fall within one of the pillars of our mission statement. We have ramped up our activity as we've grown, as evidenced by the fact that we've hosted 18 events in the spring of 2012, or spring of 2014. In addition, one of the things that we do that we really think we've been successful at and has worked well for us has been to co-sponsor a lot of our events with other groups, either at UAB or within the community. Some of the events that I'd just like to highlight, we have breakout sessions. So we have things that focus on the clinical aspect of the physician scientist, so breakout sessions which deal with lifestyle issues of different medical specialties. But we also focus on research topics such as how to write a grant and what grants are out there for early career investigators. We do a lot of networking, and we really try to get all of the aspiring physician scientists at the undergraduate, resident, and MD, PhD, or School of Medicine level together. And we've also had a fairly successful outreach effort. We have a continuous relationship with the disadvantaged city school in Birmingham. We teach them labs and give them lectures, and we've also sponsored a health screening clinic in partnership with the School of Dentistry and the School of Ophthalmology in a disadvantaged community in a Birmingham suburb. I'd also like to acknowledge funding from APSA twice in some of our events, including a roundtable discussion with James Madera, who's the CEO of AMA, as well as Tom Harbin, who's an ethicist and author and ophthalmologist from Atlanta. In addition, we've tried to be active at the national level of APSA, and we're going to continue to ramp up this effort. But right now we have approximately 8 people that are on standing committees at the national level, and several of them have helped plan this meeting this year. So in the future, we've been able to identify some areas that we still need to focus on. One of them is expanding our presence in the medical school, because our organization is largely viewed as a clique for MSTP students. So we're trying to expand our presence in the medical school, and we've made headway there. We're also trying to include members that have diverse research interests, instead of just basic science, clinical research or epidemiology from the School of Public Health. And this includes recruiting members from different training levels, undergraduates as well as residents, particularly those in the ABIM pathway, the physician scientist pathway at UAB. And one thing we'd like to do, and we're hoping this speaking opportunity will allow us to do, is to network with other local chapters, share ideas, what we've been doing, hear about what you've been doing. And so I forgot to put my email on this presentation, but anyone else who's involved at a local chapter, if you can just find me during the meeting and we can chat, that would be great. These are just some pictures from our events. So I don't know if we have time for questions now, but like I said, just go ahead and find me during the meeting if there's anything we can discuss. And thank you for your time.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adita Klamita, and I'm a fourth-year student at the University of Kentucky in the MD PhD program. And we actually don't have a local APSA chapter, which is definitely on the books is in the future as our program is growing. We're now, I think, just shy of 30 students across the 8 years in our MD PhD program. But our MD PhD program, in combination with some of the things that the University of Kentucky Hospital offers, really does a lot for career development. And I was just going to touch on some of the things that I really appreciate. So this is going to be very brief. So our program, we do monthly meetings and just kind of like to touch base as a program with our program director, with just kind of, I guess, administrative things and events going on. But then all of our monthly meetings have kind of a featured faculty from UK. And a lot of them are, looking to recruit students, and they're there to talk about all kinds of varying topics from their own personal careers and how they've gotten to that point, things they've learned during that time, as well as their own personal research. A lot of their talks end with, I have grant money, I want grad students, I want MD PhD students, who's looking for a lab? So it's a really great opportunity, especially for M1 and M2 before they're really established in their projects and have joined a lab, to meet connections. And so that's really great. And another monthly event that occurs that's kind of in conjunction with our hospital is the Dean's Distinguished Lecture Series. And here they draw in both, MDs and MD PhDs or PhDs just to talk about their work. And those topics also vary from very clinical to basic science. Our most recent speaker was Craig Mello, and he's a Nobel laureate. And he gave an incredible, inspiring talk, both in broad as well as like extremely technical and like really, really incredible. And so we get not only the opportunities along with anyone at the medical center to attend these, but our program really makes sure that we get the opportunity for like personal time with them. And so we always either have a dinner the night before or lunch the day of their talk and it's just our MD PhD program students that are able to attend to meet these, world-renowned scientists and doctors. And that's really a great opportunity just to, talk to them. And a lot of times they have a lot of really quirky insights of like kind of how they ended up where they are. And I always really appreciate that. Another big event that our program does is AOA, in conjunction with the AOA Honor Society chapter at our school is Research Day. And that's really an event to kind of collaborate with the medical students, for everyone to kind of share not only in their interest in research and all of their accomplishments in research, but just to have this dedicated day. And actually our speaker for AOA Research Day in February 2014 was Andrew Schaefer, who was the editor of the book Vanishing Physician Scientists. And he gave a really great talk about kind of some of the issues that need to overcome and some of the trends, if things have changed and what is going to have to change for the United States to continue to be, leaders in medical and research discoveries. And so we have this research day that we get to plan. So we get to decide who do we want to invite. We get to have dinner with the speaker. And then every year participation from the medical school side as well has just increased steadily, that now we have like 60 poster presentations, and then a handful of students are selected to give an oral presentation. And it's just like a really great event where kind of to get that unity of, sometimes MD PhD students tend to be a little bit more isolated than MD students, but, everyone's involved in different research opportunities. Just a good day to all kind of come together. And our program does a lot to unite us kind of as a program across 8 years, especially coming in as an M1. I mean, I moved to Kentucky not knowing a single person. I'd actually never been to the state of Kentucky before my interview day. So I was like as new to Lexington as you can be. And we have an annual retreat for like 3 days out of the state. We usually go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is like kind of a touristy attraction, and rent a cabin. And it's just, not only is it time for everyone to get to know the new students, but just kind of welcome everyone. So as an M1, the other students in the program, and then as well as discuss, program issues, recruiting, the whole process. What did you think of it? What is UK doing right and what is UK doing wrong? All the way through issues as a graduate student, as well as, you know, in efforts to transition to after graduating from the program. So that's something I really enjoy. The annual retreat is something it's a really great event. And then we have kind of social events through the program throughout the year. Actually, just last week on Thursday, in lieu of having our monthly meeting in a conference room, we actually went to Keeneland, which is the local racetrack for horse racing. It's Kentucky, you know. And so we had an awesome catered tailgate and got to go in and maybe bet on some horses and watch the ponies run. So like, kind of those kinds of events just to really create a lot of solidarity. And I can attest to the fact that I feel like, you know, like good, not only like a colleague, collaborative relationship, but genuine friendships with the people in the program, where it really helps a lot when we're working on, you know, applications or getting ready for things, just to have those kinds of resources. Like all of that sets that up, that kind of cohesion in the program. We did start kind of a student interest group called Physician Scientist Student Organization, PSSO, a couple years ago, and it's been hard to get that kind of off the ground because most of the interest, you know, all the leadership was coming from the MD PhD student side, but it's a monthly meeting that's open to medical students, dental students. UK has College of Dentistry, College of Pharmacy. There's a lot of different professional programs there, and so we really wanted to just get local faculty come talk. You know, we would have lunch, have the students come, hear about different opportunities, what are people working on, everywhere from, you know, residency directors, etc. And so we've been trying to really make that like a solid student interest group, because UK does a really good job, or UK College of Medicine does a really good job with the, you know, kind of clinical interest groups for all the different specialties, but they were really lacking like a research interest group for us to be able to share some of our, you know, research opportunities that we have as MD PhD students with our College of Medicine MD kind of classmates, because a lot of them are really interested in doing some kind of research. So it's been challenging, definitely, but really want to make that a strong group at UK. And then another thing that they do that really I've started to appreciate now that I'm in kind of the middle of grad school, is a lot of the grant writing help that we're getting. All of our departments, so depending on where you join, have like kind of built-in grant writing courses or some kind of structure, but we really need it as MD PhD students, because we're, at least, you know, for some of the pre-doctoral fellowships, you're applying to different applications than your PhD classmates. And so we're really trying to also get that to be a really strong program. I know I actually was, you know, kind of looking up the stuff that's available from different MD PhD programs online, and they have these kind of formal presentations of like, you know, this, you need to make sure these are in your applications, and this is the timing, and this is when it's optimal to apply for. These are your different types of applications. And now with all the new institutes that are accepting F30s, it's really important. So we really want that to be a huge source of aid, you know, navigating that process. And I think that would provide a lot to, like, if our program can do that for us, just trying to get that going. And then we get a lot of opportunities to present our work. We have a clinical Center for Clinical and Translational Science, and so once a month, Wednesday evenings, you know, you can, if you want to give a talk, and it's residents and attendings and other graduate students and MD PhD students and MD students, and you know, these presentations vary, and it's a very like non-hostile environment with great feedback, and you know, you get a little bit of feedback on your presentation, and it's just a great opportunity to kind of develop some of those presentation skills. And I guess as a future thing of something that I'm really kind of passionate about, and I hope that, you know, maybe a year from now I can say that UK is now doing, is last year was my first time attending the APSA annual meeting, and I just feel like I got so much out of it. I actually just came from the EB meeting in Boston, like came immediately to this, and I left that like so depressed and defeated, because as an MD PhD student, sometimes at those large science conferences, you're just kind of outnumbered in like in your goals and what you really value and what's important for you in your career and what you want to study. And so I just didn't feel like that was a really good fit for me. And when I got here, it's just every speaker is amazing, and you know, they're all study what's important and has that like focus that we care about as MD PhD students. And so I really want UK to establish like either as an M2 or G1 that's the thing that all the MD PhD students at UK do is they all go to the annual meeting, and hopefully if you go early enough and recognize how great it is and how much you get out of it, like people will continue coming back. Because I know for me, you know, talking to my PI, like there's actually a virology conference in Atlanta this weekend, and I was like, I need to go to APSA. And she was like, I understand. So I think, you know, this is where I get a lot of, you know, motivation and enthusiasm back. And so I really want that to be like, you know, funded and it just built in the program. At a certain point, everyone goes, and so I would love to say that we're doing that. Okay. I was going to keep it brief, but before I knew it.
Hi, I'm Dylan Nielsen. I'm a fifth year at Ohio State University, and I'm the president of our local APSA chapter. OSU has been really involved with APSA on a national level for a number of years, but we actually didn't have a local APSA chapter, which came as kind of a surprise when I was trying to set up our regional meeting this year. And we have a really active student group that's specifically for the MD PhD program, but we didn't have anything specifically related to APSA formally established. So this year we set up a APSA local chapter, had it recognized by the university, established a bank account and things like that so that we could manage the regional meeting and deal with the funding and getting all of the help from the various people you have to coordinate with to host a conference. And in that process, it's been a great way to get involvement from a lot of students, both in the MD PhD program and medical students, and a couple of undergraduates as well who volunteered to help out set up that regional meeting and execute it. And the regional meeting was great. We had about 100 people attend, and I think a lot of people who are here now were able to make it there. So that was a great conference, and as part of setting that up, we've got a good group of people involved in APSA at the local level now, and so in the future we're going to have some fundraisers and activities with our OSU's Success program. It's the summer undergraduate program, so we're going to try to hold a social event for them to increase the undergraduates' awareness of APSA and hopefully recruit some new members that way, and also just as another activity to get more of our MD PhD students interacting with these undergraduates. So thanks again for funding our program's travel here. We were able to bring 8 students to the annual meeting this year, and the funding from APSA was a huge help with that, and thank you guys very much.